Amazon's Jeff Bezos, Apple's Tim Cook, Sundar Pichai of Alphabet, and Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg all set to appear virtually before the House Judiciary Antitrust Subcommittee on Wednesday. The hearing will mark a rare public interrogation of big tech's most powerful leaders. The tech titans are expected to defend their company's growing power to skeptical lawmakers. But smaller tech companies have been sounding the alarm for years. Basecamp co-founder and chief tech officer is the only one who's testified before the same antitrust subcommittee to warn that big tech companies, quote, bully, extort, or, should they please, even destroy our business unless we accept their often onerous, exploitive, and ever-changing terms and conditions. And Dave Heinemeier Hansson ended his January testimony with a nod to Star Wars by saying, "Help us, Congress. You're our only hope." Okay, Obi-Wan, Congress, two different things. But here now in a Fox Business exclusive is Basecamp's David Heinemeier Hansson ahead of Wednesday's big day. What are you expecting to see, and what do you hope Congress will do?
I expect to see that there's going to be 4 incredibly well-prepared executives who will have been drilled by their PR teams to keep this as boring and as technical as possible. And it is really up to Congress to highlight how these issues are anything but boring, that these are some of the most important issues of the modern economy, and the control that these companies have is something that must be constrained by law. That we can't rely on markets to correct this now that they have complete control over these markets.
When you testified before Congress in January, you hit Google, you hit Apple, and you hit Facebook. But Apple is your biggest beef. In fact, your app for Hey, which is an email organizing app, HEY, by the way, which I think is fantastic, but it costs money. They gave you a very hard time, and they want you to pay what everybody has to pay, and that's the 30% commission for every single customer you get. You called that a gangster move. You basically accused them of being the mafia. If you were to advise Congress and whisper in their ear, what question would you tell them they have to ask Tim Cook to make him shaky, if that's even at all possible? It's a pretty tough guy.
Well, I think they have to dive into exactly that fallacy you just proposed, that everyone pays this 30%, because that's not true at all. And you have to highlight this to the American people, that right now the App Store, which is essentially the app economy, about 14% of the apps pay for the other 86%. The other 86%, they're either excluded for having to pay because they've made sweetheart deals with Apple, or they fund their operations through advertisement, which is excluded from Apple's cut. So you have these 14% of apps, which include our apps, that are getting shaken down so that we can pay for the rest. Why should Basecamp have to pay for Facebook? Basecamp is a small software developing company. We don't have billions of dollars to pay for it. And at the same time, Apple's asking us for 30% of our revenues and telling Facebook, oh, you can get away with just paying us $99 a year because you make your billions off advertisement. That is just profoundly and inherently unfair. And Congress needs to dive into that and show to the American public that this is not at all a fair marketplace. This is an incredibly rigged and specifically designed marketplace that takes sort of advantage of the weakest that they can. Apple knows they can't take on Facebook directly, so they take on small players like us.
You took on Google as well, where your issue with Google is Google controls, you say, how customers or whether customers can even find the smaller companies on the internet because they dominate search and therefore they know what they want to push up higher. That's what you allege. But what would you tell Congress to push Sundar Pichai on?
Push him on exactly that point. Is Google a search engine that helps you find other things on the internet, or is Google simply a storefront for everything else that Alphabet offers? For YouTube or other properties that Google already has, there's a bunch of interesting research that shows that Google is sending more and more and more traffic to its own services because they have this monopoly on the front door of the internet. So when they have that monopoly, monopoly. It just simply means that people can't just go Google whatever they want to find and then expect to find the best thing that's available. No, they're going to find Google's own thing, which is also an abuse of power. So we're sort of squeezed between both of, well, all four, although particularly for our business, Apple and Google, they're squeezing us from each side. Google is squeezing us to buy advertisements such that people can search for Basecamp and actually find our product. Apple is asking us if they do find us, hey, we want 30% of your revenue. So this is really the overall situation that Congress needs to paint, that this is a total issue. It's not about one little thing. It's about the fact that it's become incredibly difficult to start a competitor and a small company in today's software world.
The difference, though, is that during the financial crisis, Congress did go after big banks. They redid all kinds of regulation, and they hit them hard in front of the public because the public was angry with them. You've got now these big tech companies which have made life a lot easier for the consumer, or at least they perceive it. I'm interested to see Jeff Bezos. First of all, he's never out there. He doesn't talk a lot. Do you think that he will try and deflect? Will any of these guys try and deflect the heat onto others sitting, well, next to them virtually? But Amazon does not put its Kindle apps or any of its apps on the iOS for Apple because they will argue we don't want to be held to Apple's rules, etc. Do you expect to see that kind of thing where they'll go after each other?
You'd hope. I mean, the problem that Amazon has had with Apple is that they didn't want to give Apple 30% of their revenues. The Kindle app is actually available, but you can't buy the books. And it makes no sense. Apple keeps defending their policies. Oh, we're just doing what's best for users. We're doing what's popular. Is it popular? Is it best for users that they can't buy books on their Kindle apps on the iPhone? Of course it's not. So you would hope that something is going to crack. But unfortunately, I think that they have actually more in common than they have in opposition. And they keep making these sweetheart deals with each other. Facebook doesn't pay Apple 30% of their revenue. Amazon just made a sweetheart deal with Apple over the Amazon Prime Video store so that Amazon can be on the platform without paying 30% as well. They have more in common and more to lose by going after each other than just standing strong and say, like, hey, here's the entire digital economy. Let's just split it amongst the four of us and we'll all do just fine.
Well, we don't hold a lot of hope for Congress in certain regards. I'm not one of these people who always beats up our lawmakers, but they tend not to know a lot about the business. I hope they at least listen to you, although I tend to also believe that these four will be looked upon as big thinkers who have helped make life a little simpler for at least some people. David Heinemeier Hansson, thank you very much. We'll have you back again after all of this. Big day is Wednesday.